Good morning and welcome to your Pilates class. All you're going to need today is just you and a mat. So whenever you're ready, we're actually going to start in tabletop. So to get there, let's come to the back of our mats. Take a nice big breath in. Feel this big expansion as you stretch the entire body. And then as you start to fold forward, feel that rounding of the spine. At the bottom, hang out for just a moment. Feel that stretch throughout the hamstrings. And if the hands don't come to the floor, no problem. Place them on your body somewhere that feels supportive and come into a flat back. From this position, we're going to bend our right knee and start to open our chest towards that left side. So you should feel a little bit deeper of a stretch coming up that left hamstring and into the glute, preparing us for a super fun Pilates workout today. And then switch, bend your left knee, straighten your right, open your chest to the right side. Feel that nice long stretch coming up the back side of the right leg. One more time on each side. Bend the right knee, straighten out that left. And one more, switch it over. Come back through center. Again, find that rounding through the back, maybe even bending the knee so the belly can just rest on the thighs. Take a nice big breath in. And then as you exhale, walk the hands out, planting them firmly onto the floor so we're not walking on our fingertips until you come all the way out into your plank. Take a nice big breath here, come up onto the tippy toes, and then slowly with control, lower your knees, untuck the toes. Readjust the upper body as much as you need to feel really supportive. Maybe the hands are a little in front of the shoulders, maybe they're directly underneath the shoulders. Take a nice big breath here, and as you inhale, let your belly drop. Let your low back start to arch, take your gaze forward. And then as you exhale, round that spine, tuck your chin to your chest. Feel that decompression happening through the lumbar, thoracic, cervical spine, the entire upper, mid, and lower. And then keep that moving with your breath, or maybe if we're really tight, if this first thing in the morning, maybe we take some time lingering in one versus the other, depending on what feels the most hydrating, the most nourishing for our spine. A little interesting fact you can take away from today, your spinal discs can get dehydrated, especially as we start to age, they lose more and more hydration. So finding gentle movement actually helps them to pull in more fluid to rehydrate so we can have really healthy spinal discs, giving us support and cushion, which is really important. Come into a neutral spine, go ahead and look over the right shoulder, pull your right hip towards that shoulder as well. So we're finding little lateral extensions side to side. Nice and easy. Again, trying to take this as gentle movement as possible. And then come back through center. Go ahead and find that neutral spine, that neutral pelvis, neutral tailbone, so we don't feel like we're arching or collapsing in the low back, and we also don't feel like we're rounding the spine. So that nice neutral little spot. Go ahead and extend your right leg back, tuck the toe under, and then try to keep your pelvis and your tailbone really neutral here as you start to lift your right leg from the floor. So only lift it as much as you can before you have to go into that back bend or into that rounding sensation. So that's going to look different on all of us. Ground through your right hand, and then if it's available to you, start to lift your left arm forward. So you're in this bird dog with your core really strong, really braced, finding this balance, this core stability. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to start to move here. So think rounding the spine to make space so the elbow and the knee can pull towards one another under the center of the body, and then extend and try to come back to that neutral pelvis. And then keep flowing that. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. And if that breath doesn't work for you, find a breath that supports you. Just make sure you are breathing. Feel that core contraction as you try to make contact, knee to elbow. 2 more. 1 more. Hold that right leg out. Lower your left arm so the forearm is parallel with that front short edge of your mat. Start to open up your hips. So from here, we're going to kickstand this left leg kind of out just to give us a little bit of support. So rather than keeping it where it is, just bring it back a little bit. Open up this top right hip. Use your right elbow as a frame of reference. And again, find that contraction and extension. Right knee to right elbow and kick it back out. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Feel those right obliques working. So we're in the semi-open tabletop. Two more. One more. Kick that leg back, hold. Press through your right hand to release your left hand. Come back through your tabletop. And we're going to tuck our left toe under and with a lot of core control, lift up into a three-legged dog. We're going to transition this into a plank. So think right knee to left elbow. So as we shift forward to the plank, bring your right knee, tap your left elbow or forearm, and then take it back up, three-legged dog. Control and contract, lengthen and extend. Not moving super fast here. We're focusing on the stability of the core, the strength through the shoulders, and getting as much range of motion as we can. When you kick that leg back, try to keep your hips square towards the earth. One more. Swing that right leg all the way through, setting up for pigeon. So right knee to right wrist, right ankle to left. Open it up. Stretch out your core. Stretch out your hip. Let that feel really, really good. If it feels good to stay up, stay up. If you want to lower into the forearms, that can be a nice option as well. Just feel that release through the core and through the hips, giving ourselves a little bit of break before we go on to the other side. Whenever you're ready, walk it back up onto the hands. Tuck that left toe under, and then bring your left knee behind your right foot, and then release your right foot, and you should land in a nice tabletop. All right, transitioning side. So again, find that neutral pelvis. So we feel the back bend, we feel the rounding, we come right through center, extend our left leg back, tuck your toe under. Now focus on keeping this neutral pelvis as you lift your left leg as high as your anatomy will allow. Find your balance, find your support, find your stability. Inhale, reach your right arm forward. Stay here in your bird dog for a few breaths. Notice any areas we might feel wobbly and try to ground through that spot. Feel your glute on the left side supporting this limb extended in space. Take one big breath in. And again, think rounding the spine as you pull the elbow and the knee together through the center of the body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. And really try here as much as you can to make contact, or if contact's not available, to find the same range of motion with every rep. So even if the elbow and the knee aren't making contact, can we make sure we're getting to the same target zone with every single rep? I'm going to rotate around so when we kick into our open tabletop, I don't have my back to you. Hold it out. Keep your left leg floating. Keep your pelvis neutral. Lower your right forearm so it's parallel at that front edge of your mat. Open up that left hip. Kick out your right foot as much as you need to feel supported. Keep your left hand on the floor with that elbow bent. Flex that left foot and knee to elbow. And really focus here on squeezing the obliques and the core. And find a breath to support you. 3, 2, one more. Hold it back. Walk the right hand back underneath. Bring that right leg back in line with the body. Tuck your right toe under. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, press yourself up. Really strong there. Point your left toe And we're going to bring left knee to right forearm or right elbow. Inhale, lift it back up. So we're crossing the body as we shift forward into a plank. Two more here. One more. Take it back. Bend the knee as you sweep it through to your pigeon. Left knee behind left wrist, left ankle behind right wrist. Release your right toe. Maybe you stay upright. That feels really good. Maybe you come down. Just release that hip. Take another breath here. Walk yourself up onto the hands again. This time, just sit onto your left booty cheek. Sweep your right leg around. Inhale, reach your arms forward. We're going to round and take the hands in front of the feet. Tuck your chin to your chest. And then as you lift up, one vertebra at a time, unravel to the floor. Arms sweep overhead. Tuck your rib cage down and in so we're not popping it open. We're not arching through the low back. Bring the arms back up towards the sky. Once the fingertips are facing your ceiling, tuck your chin and come all the way back up. Wrap yourself over your thighs. One vertebra at a time, unravel. Hold and tuck your rib cage down and in. Fingertips towards the sky, tuck your chin, roll it up. Pilates, roll up here. Keep this going with a breath to support you. Just make sure you're not holding your breath. Also, unless you need it, try not to throw your arm. Wait until the fingertips are towards the sky before you bring the body with you. Now, granted, if you need the little tiny momentum, feel free to take it. Every day we practice, we get a little stronger, we get a little better, and more efficient. We're going to transition this into a sprinter sit-up. So we're going to do the exact same thing we've been doing, but as we come up, as the chest starts to lift, pull your right knee into your chest, reach your left arm forward, lower it back down, and then switch to the other side. Fingertips to sky, lift up, left knee to chest. Keep alternating sides. Really pull that knee into the chest. And then start to twist at the top. So we're crossing the body. Maybe even bringing the opposite arm across the thigh that we bring in. So kind of like a bicycle crunch, but we're doing a sit-up. And again, as you take those arms overhead when you lay down, make sure you're not popping that rib cage open. Keep pulling that rib cage down and in. So we feel that really strong girdle-like support throughout the core. One more on each side. Bring it all the way down, let the arms come overhead. Now release your rib cage and just stretch out your entire core. Your hips, your iliopsoas, all that front body work. We're going right into single leg stretch. So think wrapping that rib cage down and in towards the midline of your body again. Bring your hands forward. Take your right hand to your right knee, left hand to left ankle. Now, when we start to lift the upper body, think chest to rib cage rather than chin to chest. It's going to help us keep from putting stress on the neck. Lift your left leg, pull your right knee in 2 times, and then switch. So 2 little tugs and then switch legs. And again, once you start to settle in, find a breath to support you. And again, keep thinking chest to rib cage, and that's going to support your upper body rather than hinging from the chin and then feeling that in our neck. Take 2 more, one on each side. Hug both knees in, lower your upper body, and gently rock side to side, massaging that tailbone and that lumbar spine. Oh, my floor is squeaky. Now, if that was challenging enough, you're going to stay exactly where you are and repeat that again. If you're ready, we're going to go into our double leg stretch. So go ahead and hug the knees into the chest. Now think zipping your inner thighs together. So our goal here is to keep the inner thighs and the knees touching the entire time, which is really hard. So if they need to come apart a little bit, honor your body and let that happen. Again, chin to chest. We pull in 2 times and then we extend out. Pull in 2 times and then extend out. And again, pull that rib cage down and in so we feel really strong and supported. And as you settle in, find a breath to support you. We're going to go 3 more here. 1 more here. All the way out, all the way in. Hug the knees, lower your upper body. This time, because we were working in those hip flexors, let your knees come apart and then gently rock side to side, giving your hip flexors a little bit of a break. Need to get off the squeaky spot on my floor. Gotta love old houses. Take another breath here. Slowly bring everything in and release your feet to the floor with your heels as close to your booty as your flexibility and your anatomy will allow. Now, gently pull the head up and back just a little bit so you find this natural tucking of your chin to your chest so there's no stress and straining in the neck. We want to be really comfortable in the upper body. Hands down by your side. Feet are hips distance apart, so they're not touching and they're not super wide. They're still within our skeletal frame of the body. Relax your shoulders, relax your chest, maybe even shake it out so you can feel relaxed and comfortable. Press mostly through the heels of the foot, even though the ball of the foot is on the floor. Find a pelvic tilt so you feel that low back start to flush into the earth and then peel yourself off the floor, 1 vertebra at a time, coming into a Pilates bridge. We're going to hold this Pilates bridge. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, sweep the arms overhead, straight arms until the back of the palms find the floor. And we're going to leave the upper body as it is as we tap our tailbone, lift our tailbone. So going into these little bridges here, keeping that little pelvis tilt that we use to get ourselves up to protect our low back. Now, if the arms overhead are not serving you in any way, just bring them right back down and leave them there. All of these are just suggestions. You have to listen to your body and what feels good in it. Hold your next bridge all the way at the top. Maybe try to lift another inch by not popping the hips open and feeling that in the low back though, but by actually pressing through the heels and lifting the entire unit together up that little inch. Stay for 3, stay for 2, lower it down. If you didn't take your arms overhead, take them there now. Keep your right knee bent, extend your left leg long, keep your right arm overhead, let your left arm come down by your side, cross body jackknives. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, you're going to bring your upper body and your lower body together over the belly button, fingertips to toes or ankle or shin, whatever you can touch. Lower it back down. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. And again, as you settle into the exercise, then find a breath to support you. Two more here. One more. The next time you're up, hold. Bend your left knee, place your ankle on your right knee, release the upper body. Readjust the right foot as needed. We're going into single leg bridges. So you've got this figure 4 style on the legs. Again, the right knee is bent with that foot firmly on the floor, especially pressing through the heel. Find your pelvic tilt so you feel that lumbar spine start to ground. Tuck your chin to your chest so we're not pressing through the back of the head and Finding this hyperextension of the neck, that doesn't feel good. Lift up into your bridge and hold. Now, option to stay here or release your left leg and bring your knees in line. Now, for a moment, look down. Notice if your left hip is dropping beneath your right hip. Oh, hello, Yuki's making an appearance. Square those hips up. And if it's hard to support yourself in this bridge with this extended limb, come right back to your figure four. Come right back to your figure four. And that right leg is going to give your left leg a little support. But our goal here is to try to keep those hips nice and square. So your leg is either on the right or it's extended in space. You choose. And then lower and lift right leg. Single leg bridges here. We should teach her to do Pilates with us. Whew, feel that right hamstring and glute. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it at the top, hold it at the top, hold it at the top. Stay for 5, stay for 4, 3. Try not to drop, but release your left foot towards the floor. The cat is right where I need to put my foot. And hold yourself up in your bridge with both feet down. Right into regular bridges, down and up. We've got 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and lower this down. Nice job. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, keep your left leg bent, straighten out your right leg. Bring your left arm overhead. So right leg out, left arm out, opposites. Take a nice big breath. Pull your rib cage down and in. Cross body jacks. Let's go. And if you have a pet at home, then now you've got an obstacle to work over. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Hold everything up. Bend your right knee. Place your right ankle on top of your left knee. Now, maybe you have to walk the left foot in closer to the center of your body. That's fine. Take a big breath in. Tilt your pelvis up and then lift up into your single leg bridge. Now, again, you have the option to stay in this figure 4 shape or extend your right leg. Just try to bring your knees in the same line. So it's not up here in the sky and it's not down here towards the floor, but it's knee to knee. If you do that though, just try to keep your hips really square. Don't let the right hip drop. Single leg bridges, let's go. Choose your option. One is not better than the other. It's just what challenges you. Don't settle into what's easy. Find what challenges you and is still accessible. And really build a strong body. Resiliency is a beautiful quality. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it at the top. Try not to drop, but release your right foot towards the floor. Maybe if you walk the left foot in, you got to walk it back out. Hold your bridge at the top. We're going 15 bridges to finish this thing. Down and up. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Whew, squeeze the booty at the top. 3, 2, and down. Rather than hugging the knees in the chest, unless that's what you really, really need right now, extend your arms out. Your legs out and your arms overhead. Now, if you needed to hug the knees, if that was like, my body is craving hugging my knees into my chest, feel free to take that option. I'm just setting you up for our next exercise, which is a jackknife. Take a nice big breath in. If you were hugging the knees into the chest, go ahead and extend everything out nice and long. So you've got arms overhead, legs nice and long. Again, find that tilting of the pelvis so we're protecting the low back, that wrapping down and in of our rib cage. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, arms and legs sandwiched together and then lower down. Now, as you lower the legs, if you notice a couple things happening here, if you notice the pelvis is untilting And if you notice the low back is arching, just shorten your range of motion. So you don't have to come all the way to the floor. Maybe you come halfway down. Maybe the arms over the head doesn't serve you either, and you have to take your hands underneath your sit bone area to give your low back a little support and cushion. You do what you need. Our focus here is the low abdomen. So however we need to support our leg movement is the most important thing here. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, one more. All the way down. Maybe now you hug the knees into the chest. Maybe you come back to that straightening out. And then slowly release. And all we're going to do here, let me slide my microphone over, is roll onto one side. I don't care what side you start with. I'm going to roll onto my left because then I'm facing you guys. But if you want to roll onto your right first, you do you, boo. All right, let's start with ourselves in this vertical style plank laying down. I guess this would be more of a horizontal plank. And then we're going to bend our left knee, giving ourselves a little bit of support. Flex your right foot. Now your head can be rested on your arm however is comfortable. If you want to stay upright, down, extended, just support your neck. Right hand comes in front of the chest. That's really important. That's going to help us stay stable. So make sure it's not in front of the neck or the face or down here in front of the ribs, but find your actual chest and then plant it on the floor. Lift your right foot up, find your anatomy, your bone structure right here. This is your starting point. Lift and lower, don't come past your starting point. Three, two, come down halfway and hold. Point your toe. We're going to bring our knee to our elbow, tap, just like we practiced in the beginning in our tabletop. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Don't kick your cat. Sweep it all the way back around and then find that in a continuous loop. So we're getting a little bit of core activation here through the right oblique, if that's the leg that's on top. Maybe it's your left oblique. And we're still working right into the glute on the outside. Now bend that leg, not so much so the knee is tapping the elbow, but so it's stacked right on top of your bottom leg. Now make sure your knee and your foot stay in the same plane and lift and lower. Lift and lower. Woo, and we should really feel the outside of that booty now. Stay 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that leg up, hold it up, make sure the foot and the knee are in a line, flex your foot and kick it out. So it's like you're stamping that wall behind you and then bend it back in. Extend and bend like little hamstring curls. And we should be digging nice and deep into those stabilizing muscles inside the glute. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to take that foot in front of the body and extend our bottom leg out nice and straight. So maybe it's hard to find this shape. So we actually hold the ankle with that top arm. Now our bottom leg, look down. You want to just keep it in line with the hip. So if it's way forward or way back, just bring it nice and in line. Flex, or sorry, point, and then lift and lower it from the floor. Our goal here in the bottom leg is to get ankle to hip off the floor, starting to target the inner thigh of this bottom leg. Let's go for 3, 2, hold it halfway up, and then sweep it forward and back. Whew, really feel that inseam of the leg working here. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it in line. Again, your toe is pointed, so it's like your big toe is a little paintbrush. Draw little circles on that wall. Whew. Really feel that inner thigh. 5, 4, 3. Don't drop. Change the direction of your circle for 8. Whew. 5. Inner thigh is screaming. 3, 2, and release that leg. Release your top leg. Bring the top arm in front of you. Press yourself up and just pivot yourself around. And if you've got a little buddy working with you, give them a little love. All right. So again, that bottom leg kind of bends. It gives us a little support. Top arm directly in front of our chest. Find your starting point. Lift and lower that top leg. Let's go for 5, 4, 3. Now remember, your elbow is your target here. Hold. Knee taps elbow. Kick that leg straight out in front of you. Sweep it all the way around the back. Now find a continuous loop. One more here. The next time you sweep it back, keep it bent. Again, we're stacking this top leg on top of that bottom leg. Make sure your ankle and knee stay in the same plane. Lift and lower. Whew, and really dig deep into that outer glute region. Let's go 2 more here. Hold. Now flex that foot, stamp your foot on that wall behind you, and then bend it back in. And by behind you, I mean when the leg is straight behind you, not when it's bent. So not literally behind you, but that side wall. Kick it, bend it, kick it, bend it. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, bring that leg in. Grab hold of that ankle. Plant that foot on the floor. Straighten out your other leg. Now look down, make sure it's in line with the hip. Point it, point that bottom toe, and lift and lower. Again, our goal here is to get from ankle all the way to thigh, up and off the floor. Three more. We're going to sweep it forward and back. Come halfway down so our whole leg is off the floor still. Forward and back. Keep that leg up. As it gets tired, it's going to want to come back to the floor. Keep it up. Hold and little tiny circles. Draw those circles with your big toe. Whew, inner thigh work. And reverse that circle. Ooh. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower it down. Release. Nice job. Ooh. Inner and outer thighs. Should have been feeling that. There's no fun, cute transitions here. We're just gonna flip it over. Maybe take a break sitting back, maybe taking a child's pose, whatever you need to stretch out that area. And then we have just a little bit of work left to do. We're gonna finish in a plank series. So if you need to roll the wrist, roll the wrist. If you need to do this on your forearms to give your wrist a break, feel free to do that as well. So let's find the upper body positioning first. Make sure your hands are nice and planted onto your mat to give yourself a lot of support. Find a little bit of rounding in your upper back. So think protracting your shoulders apart from each other rather than squeezing them together. So a little bit of rounding here. Step your right foot back, just like we did in bird dog in the beginning, but this time step your left foot back to meet it. You've got that little bit of rounding, that little bit of puffiness in the upper back. Hands are firmly grounded to support you. Core is drawing down and in. Push the heels back. Take a nice big breath in, and then forward and back rockers. Three, two, one. Hold. Turn your toes towards the right, heels towards the left. Open up into your side plank. Lift your hips up a couple more inches. So you've got this kind of arch-like shape in the side body that's facing the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, unravel back to your center plank. Forward and back rockers. Now everything is the same, even if you're on the forearms. And if you're modifying this on the knees and just kind of rocking here, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to pivot your knees towards the left, feet towards the right, and open up into your modified or your variation side plank towards the opposite side. So however you needed to take that, options for everybody. Rotate back towards the floor. Last round of plank rockers, forward, back. Try not to look back towards the toes and disalign your neck. Keep looking slightly forward. So you're thinking nice long line from the heels to the crown of the head. 5, 4, 3, 2, lower the knees, sit back on the heels, release, nice job. Gaze forward through the thumbs and then slither yourself into a Sphinx pose. So you're stretching out that chest, that clavicle area, the sternum. Take one more breath here. Then lower the upper body down, glide the hands right next to your chest, pull the elbows in, draw your shoulder blades down and back. Take a nice big breath in. Press to the tops of the feet through the thighs, lift up through the upper body into cobra, stretching out the core and strengthening through your low back. Take one more breath here. And then lower it back down. Okay, little one, I need you to move so I can glide my foot out. She is not happy. Glide that left knee out. We're coming into half frog here. So we want that knee somewhat in line with the hip and then the ankle in line with the knee. And then look over to the same side of the knee that you just pulled in. So if the left knee's pointing to the chest, look left. So we're just taking it nice and easy on the neck as we can. And really release that hip. Take one more breath here. Then bring your left hand next to your chest, release your left leg. We're doing the same thing on the other side. So pull that right knee out. So you're in this little half frog shape. Look to the right and relax. Take one more breath here. And then slowly release. Bring the hands next to the chest. Lift yourself up and back. Walk the hands with you. Tuck your toes at the back of your mat and lift up into a down dog. Take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, again, flat palms on the earth rather than tinted fingers. Walk yourself back. Just like we started, bend the right knee and start to open the chest towards the left. Feel that nice big stretch through the back of the left leg. Come back through center, bend your left knee, straighten your right, open your chest to the right side. Come back through center, bend the knees, roll it up nice and slow, one vertebra at a time, decompressing your spine along the way until you're standing up nice and tall. Take a nice big breath in. Let's close this up. Exhale, bring your hands all the way through your heart and down by your side. Thank you so much for joining me for Pilates. Until next time, be well.